Hey guys, this is Neil with Catalyst Machine Works, and we are in our showroom now. We're going to do a quick video on Beast Class and X Class machines. This is a safety video and a procedural video. Whenever you receive your machine from us, bind and fly or ready to fly, you should watch this video from beginning to end and take everything we're about to tell you very seriously, because these machines are extremely dangerous and you have to give them an extra level of respect. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Alan, and he's going to talk about some of the points in this video.
Okay, to start off, with all of these X-Class drones that we send out, they are all set up as reverse prop. So that's something very, very important. If you put the prop on wrong, this thing is liable to flip out a little bit. So reverse prop. Let me just show you the direction of those. So motor 1 is going to go counterclockwise. Motor 2 will go clockwise. Motor 3 down here will also go clockwise. And motor 4 is counterclockwise. One of the biggest things we say whenever you get one of these is to check and double check everything. Complacency is your enemy with these bigger drones. So whenever you get these, you're installing your props. Sorry, these are a little dirty. I will typically install the prop. Okay. We'll just go ahead and do this as if we're kind of out at the field, right?
And of course, even when installing these props, don't get complacent. Make sure that you double and triple check that the direction of the prop matches the intended direction of the motor.
Okay, so now that I got the props on, I'm pretty sure I did it right. Well, no, I'm going to put it in front of me, and I'm going to double check every single one of them. Okay, so that to me is looking correct. Now I would actually have my spotter double check it as well, just as a second set of eyes, because it never hurts.
Every time you fly this machine, yes, you need to have a spotter. That's a second person that's not in the goggles, that's watching the environment to make sure that nobody is crossing your path, nobody's below you. That's an extra safety measure. So yep, all the props look good.
So from there, you kind of expanding on that a little bit, you definitely want to be out in an area that's not populated, but definitely still want a spotter just in case somebody wanders over into that flight area. And just for purposes of this video, we're inside, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the props here.
One other thing that I'll mention real quick is that every time you go fly, put a wrench on the nut and just make sure that it hasn't loosened. These systems create a lot of horsepower. This one in particular can make about 13 horsepower, and over time it can move these things up. You can start to loosen the nut, so just make sure that it's tight every time you go fly.
Yeah. Okay, so for powering the system, so you can see we have two batteries, two 6S batteries running in series, and so this is just kind of show you the easiest way to wire this up. You can see I have one short and one long lead on each arm. So the positive is going to go to the negative on one of the batteries to the other. And then you have one negative and one positive left. On these particular connectors that we use, always plug in the negative first. The reason for that is the positive has a anti-spark connection, and so it just protects your connectors and the system in general from unnecessary voltage spikes. Another safety feature that we have built into this is I have it set up in modes as having a pre-arm switch and an arm switch. And so I will show this to you kind of on mine. So arm or pre-arm is going to be auxiliary 2, which I have it set to this middle position, and then arm is down here. This drone will not arm unless the pre-arm switch is activated, but you can only disarm it with the arming switch. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. So whenever you're about ready to plug this in, why don't we do that, and then I'll demonstrate it with it out there on the floor. Controller on, all switches in their off position whenever you're about ready to plug this thing in. Nobody touching the controller.
Nobody holding it.
Yeah, nobody holding it. That way there's no chance to arm this with it in your hands. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate. You'll have to forgive me, I'm in my pajama pants. So I have it on, all switches forward. I'm going to leave it back on the table. I'm not even going to bring that with me. And I'll go ahead and carry this out far enough distance before I ever plug it in. And as I'm plugging it in, I'm keeping the system kind of away from my face and body. Okay. Negative first. And then positive. You'll hear the proper beeps, and then set it down. And make sure you're a good distance away. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate the pre-arm and arm. And I hope that you guys keep this on there. I think this is very important so that, you know, it's just another safety measure. So my pre-arm, well here, I'll just show you without activating the pre-arm. The system will not arm at all. So I have to activate another switch before it will arm. A really nice feature there to keep it extra safe.
And as far as once you're done with your flight, as far as disarming and going up to the craft, just make sure you come up from behind it. And it's a good idea to just take this thing and again get the props away from you, and then disconnect power. And always keep this thing away, right? So if you're done with your flight, don't carry your radio over to the craft in your hand as you're disarming this thing. It would be quite easy, you know, to somehow hit these switches and then you've got problems.
That's bad.
That's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing.
You don't want that to happen.
Like I said before, and I'll just really reiterate this, is complacency is your #1 enemy with a dangerous piece of equipment. Double check and triple check everything before you go up in the air to make it as safe as possible.
Yep, I think that pretty much covers it.
I think that's pretty good.
I think that's pretty good. If you guys have any questions about this, or if you want to inquire about purchasing one of these amazing systems from us, you can email us at info@catalystmachineworks.com or support@catalystmachineworks.com. If you are interested in one of these, I do want you to know that there is an approval process to purchase one. We don't sell these to just anybody. You have to have some experience in these systems, mini quads, building, operating. You really need to have your head on straight to operate one of these. So I guess that's it. That brings a close to the video.